Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi with Retail Insider. Joining me today is Don Ludlow, who is Vice President of Small Business, Partnerships, and Strategy for RBC. Thanks for joining us today, Don.
Thanks. Great to be here, Mario.
Well, there's some interesting points came out of a recent survey that RBC did on consumers. And I'm just going to rattle off a couple of numbers. 30% of Canadians spend about 30% of their budget on small business. 65% transacted with small business in the past month. 70% plan to spend more. The support of small businesses out there, are you surprised by this, Don?
No, not at all. It's really great to see, and as you said, a vast majority of Canadians, over 70%, plan to continue spending at local small businesses. And when you think about it, for sure during the pandemic, we gained a real appreciation of all things local. And I think people always understood that small businesses are the backbone of the economy and their local economies. But I think they really gained an appreciation for the importance that small businesses have really in the fabric of their community. And so it's not surprising to see this incredible support and love for small businesses. I mean, they got to know all these small business owners. They really developed personal rapport and understanding of their stories and the passion they have for their businesses. So I think we shouldn't be surprised that Canadians want to continue to support small businesses in the days ahead.
Now, one of the things I found interesting, that with the support that's there, we also have the fact that there's rising costs out there. Inflation is up. The cost of everything is rising. We've heard stories of a lot of that is going towards like value and discount stores as people try to save money and spending. Yet, on the other hand, we know for the most part, smaller businesses, local businesses, they'll probably be a little more expensive. Can you talk, those two types of scenarios and what's happening? That are we finding that even though that costs are going up, people might be willing to spend a little bit more by supporting local? Is that what's happening? Or,
well, I think you're right in the sense that it's how people or where people find value, and I think they see incredible value in supporting local businesses. And we certainly talk about the rise of the socially conscious consumer, so they want to support businesses that have the same values as them. So that sometimes local, that sometimes locally sustainable businesses that are environmentally friendly and practice great sustainable practices. It could be support to socially responsible businesses, so support for Black, Indigenous, or people of color owned businesses, or businesses owned by two-spirited LGBTQ plus community members. So it's important to consumers that they're using their purchasing power for something they believe in and something that they see value in and think is important. So it's not just about price.
Let's take a look at some of the drivers of this trend and continuing trend out there of support for local businesses. One is sustainability. Can you talk about how that plays into this trend?
Yes, I think for sure, people are increasingly concerned about, the environmental impact that we have and the impact that the businesses have. So it's not surprising to see that they spend their dollars accordingly. So, I think it's important for small businesses to think about how they can continue to adopt, sustainable practices in the running of their businesses and the product and services they offer, and in the way they run their business. So, I think if they do that in a really authentic way, I think that's great for the environment, it's great for business, and it also will help them earn more business from their local customers.
Okay, the other aspect, and I think you probably touched on it a little bit, there is a social responsibility out there. I know in the press release that you folks put out on this, you mentioned social responsibility. Can you talk a little bit about that and what that means?
Yeah, I think it's just, again, that people want to support businesses that share their values, and people that they really can connect with and believe in, people that are very authentic, and whose stories they believe in and want to support. And I think the numbers were greater than 50% of Canadians want to support, as I said, members of the Black, Indigenous, or people of color
Yeah.
business community, and others. So that's again, it's supporting people that are local,
Yeah.
and whose stories they believe in.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the small businesses themselves and what they need to do. One is to be innovators. Innovation is a big component these days, it seems, for many businesses in general, but small businesses in particular, is it not?
Yeah, I think innovation in all kinds of different ways. Innovation in their product suite, and continuing to evolve their product and service offering to stay up, keep up with consumers. I think innovation in the way that they conduct their business, so pursuing e-commerce and developing new channels that way, and also innovation in payments and just the middle and back office, and how they run their business. So super important. Often that delivers a great client experience or customer experience, and is also great for the bottom line, and just helps things run that much more smoothly. So
Yeah.
innovation is really key as well.
So can you talk a little bit about, you mentioned e-commerce, part of that is, the whole digital area for these businesses. They really need to look at that, don't they, to be successful, especially in this day and age?
I think so, but partly again because it's part to meet consumer expectations. I think increasingly consumers expect and are really comfortable with e-commerce and digital payments, and I think it makes good business sense, and is very accessible for businesses. We have a tremendous offering with Moneris and Bookmark that allows you to really quickly and easily set up an e-commerce site, accept digital and online payments, and just get going right from the get-go. So again, it meets the expectations of your customers, and also helps you run your business a lot more economically.
What do you think small businesses continue to need to do, I guess, as we go forward to continue to keep that support and to even grow that support from the consumers?
Yeah, I think it's very very important to stay in touch locally and engage locally. Think and act locally in a sense. We have a great app that's called the Next Door, and it allows you to engage with local members of the community and stakeholders, and just make sure you're top of mind. And I think even as you do that, you can also share your story, and find new sales channels, whether that's broadening a little beyond the local horizons, or, as I said, selling online and through other types of channels.
And do you think it's more important now for Canadians to support small businesses? Because, of course, well, I shouldn't say we've, I was going to say we've come out of the pandemic, but in many ways we haven't. But we're coming out, so to speak. A lot of the government support programs are no longer there, that kind of kept a lot of these businesses afloat. So is it even more important now to support local business because of that?
Yes, I think it's always been important to support local businesses, and as I said at the start, the small businesses are the engine of the economy. They produce a huge amount of the business and investment and business formation. They create all kinds of new jobs, and they really do add to the vibrancy of local communities and local streets and everything. So I think that's what people love about their neighborhoods, and love about their towns and everything, is that kind of local flavor. So of course it makes sense for us to to continue to promote that.
Was there anything else, Don, from that survey that struck you as important or interesting?
Well, owning and running a small business is tough at the best of times, for sure.
Yeah.
And these are truly turbulent times that we continue to go through. I think the good thing is that small business owners, the vast majority of them, developed a huge amount of resiliency and flexibility during the pandemic. And coming out of it, a couple of things really stand out or come to mind. The first is always plan for contingencies. Continue to do a budget and try to stick to your financial plan. We have some tremendous financial planning resources on our RBC Small Business Navigator site where you can do some cash flow forecasting and that kind of thing. Look at your product offering and see how you can continue to evolve it and make sure you're staying on top of the tastes of your clients and everything. As I said, explore digital and e-commerce solutions, and then look for help and support beyond what you're getting now. We have all kinds of what we call beyond banking solutions to help you with hiring more people, growing your business. We have a tremendous tool called RBC Insights Edge that gives you great insights into your customer base and helps you find new customers and grow your sales. So really just take advantage of all the resources that are out there and stay current. I mean, you're never alone as a small business owner, although I'm sure there's lonely moments, and we'd always love to talk to you at RBC if you want to have a chat.
Now, Don, you mentioned the resilience of small business owners, and I think that's one of the things that may have been surprising for some people, as many expected a wave of closures and bankruptcies, and not to be downplay it. Yes, there was a number, but I don't think from a retail standpoint or a small business standpoint there was as many as people expected. And what are your thoughts on that, and the whys behind that?
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't want to downplay, as you said, the challenge of the pandemic, which were significant for small business owners across the country. And I think there were all kinds of great programs that institutions like RBC worked with the federal government to deliver. And I think one of the things you saw was small and medium-sized businesses and business owners really adapt and learn as they went, and learn all new skills and capabilities and resiliency through that. So if anything, although we're in a really challenging moment, it's always challenging, we actually have this new generation generation of very experienced business owners who I think, are actually in a really good spot to not only survive the days and months ahead, but thrive in the environment and beyond.
Do you think that was the key? When you look at the last 2 years, do you think the key for a lot of these small business owners was that the learning of how to adapt and how to change, how to adopt new things, A, getting them through, and then B, is probably a good lesson to be learned for the future as well, right?
Yes, I think that certainly played a role. And, look, Mario, I've had the chance to work with small business owners and commercial clients for almost 15 years, 15 of my 20 years at the bank. And they are such incredible and impressive Canadians and people. They're very pragmatic. They adjust in the moment. They're eternal optimists. They're lifelong learners. Yeah. And adapt quickly. So I think they really honed those skills, which they would have had before anyway. I think they really honed them during the pandemic, and many of them probably are in many ways a better spot in some ways to weather the current turbulent times that we seem to be in.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting when you look at the last couple of years, but and as you mentioned, it's never been easy to be a small business owner, but more so, and harder in the last couple of years. Are you still surprised at the number of people that still want to own small businesses and want to be entrepreneurs in light of all that?
Yeah, it does seem a bit counterintuitive at times, doesn't it? That some of those peak business startups and peak interest in entrepreneurialism was at the peak of the pandemic. I think that's actually very encouraging. That we should really take heart that entrepreneurialism is alive and well in Canada, and we need that in our country and our economy. I think it's that people have different moments, I guess, where they pause and reflect and think about what they want to do. And I think the pandemic was one of those moments where people said, you know what, I've always wanted to do this. I'm going to, maybe it's crystallized for them their dream or their plans, and I'm going to go for it. So good for them. And we certainly saw a rise of business startups and entrepreneurialism in the pandemic. And I'm sure they're going to continue to do well and learn and thrive in the months ahead.
Now, I don't know if your survey broke it down by regions, but was there anything there that caught your attention?
I'm sorry, on this particular one, I don't have a regional cut. I know
Okay.
typically there's slightly higher interest in entrepreneurialism in that incredible province of yours, Alberta, and which is a wonderful thing, and not surprising. I don't think I have the provincial breakdown on this one though.
Okay, that's super then. Anything else you'd like to add, Don, before you leave us?
No, Mario, other than it's really great to be here. And at RBC, we love working with business owners and entrepreneurs. So as I said, sometimes it just starts with a conversation, and we're always happy to have that chat with you.
Okay, super. That's Don Ludlow, who is Vice President of Small Business Partnerships and Strategy with RBC. I'm Mario Toneguzzi with Retail Insider. Thanks for joining us today.